We're back and dry from a wet and rainy day at Sixfields, where Cardiff came away triumphant from a 3-1 win over Northampton. Joining me to get through the really wet and muddy detritus from that game is Ben Price and Tom Phillips. Ben Price, how are you?
I think I'm developing man flu, so I think, if you think August was rough, I think this could finally be the end of me.
Oh, no. What are we going to do on the pod, Tom, if it is the end of Ben?
Well, get people to fill in like we've done most of the season because he's been gallivanting around Europe. So I don't think it'd be that hard, personally.
No, I don't. Sorry, Ben.
You'll miss my thumbnails when I'm dead.
That's true.
That's true, actually. Can you send the templates?
Yeah, I'll send you the Photoshop files.
Yeah, thanks very much, mate. Appreciate it. And that's Ben Price's last ever episode with us, as he will be dead next week.
There's one bloke on Twitter right now celebrating so hard.
I didn't like to say it. But that one bloke will be very happy. Let's talk about Northampton, Ben Price. Yesterday, Saturday, we beat Northampton 3-1 in a game that only can be described as wet. Have you ever seen such honking weather at a football match in a while, Ben? Because I haven't.
It was reminiscent, probably not quite as bad, but do you remember when we played Brighton in the year we first had the Adidas kit and Immers scored those 2 goals? That is the wettest I think I've ever been at a game. And it very much reminded me of that sort of conditions. It looked gross.
Yeah, it was, if you looked up at the floodlights, it was like sheet rain. It was just like a moving sheet of rain that was coming down sideways across the pitch. And Sixfields, look, Tom, when we came down to League One, we kind of knew that there was going to be some adjustments, some realignments of expectations. And I think Sixfields is exactly the kind of ground that does that to you, doesn't it? It's small, it's pokey, and there's not much cover.
Yeah, it's the ideal kind of like League One ground. It feels like you don't get that weather in the Championship. You obviously do, but it just stands out. It just stands out so much more in a ground like Sixfields, doesn't it? Like it's just set up for a miserable, miserable day. I love it though. Like they're the grounds that we were kind of looking forward to go into, right? And this is like some of them, like the biggest FOMO I've had this season, I reckon. On the back of like a decent Wales result as well, going back into the Cardiff fixtures and it's like Northampton away. I'm like, yeah, they're the fixtures that we were kind of looking at beginning of the season. And yeah, I'm glad I lived up to it.
I can give a kind of a good and bad of Northampton. The good, you can get signal in the ground. It's quite easy to get an Uber out from the ground back to the train station. I got 3 beers. The bad, it was very small, pretty much uncovered, and the away end was flooding a little bit because the rain was so heavy and people were moving up from the front rows because they were just like, it's too wet by there because it was just standing water. So it was great. I could send text messages and tweets during the game, which doesn't happen at many grounds these days. So thank you, Northampton, for being a small football ground, I guess. And thank you to the man who gave me 5 free beers because the card machine wasn't working. And he just said, honestly, just take them. He was so downtrodden by the fact his card machine wasn't working and the weather that he gave me free beers.
It's exactly what you want from a football club is someone to have just given up and just doesn't give a shit. They're on minimum wage. Yeah. They couldn't give a shit whether you pay or not. They're what makes this country great. They're brilliant people.
His apathy has left a really good impression of Northampton upon me. So he's doing for the club, he's a great ambassador. He was very kind, very benevolent, and I will give him lots of credit for that. And I hope that doesn't get him fired from the club. Ben, let's talk about the football match itself. In that kind of weather, it's very hard to play a game of football with any sort of quality. And the kind of opening kind of chapters of that game showed that, wasn't it? There wasn't much quality on show. It was hard to get the ball down, but we were probably the better team.
Yeah, I thought up until Colwill got injured, really, I thought we were comfortably the better side. I think we never really recovered from that, but I thought we started quite well. Because everything was there. It was never going to be a classic. You're never going to have a great game, like a world, like top level game of football in those sort of conditions. But for what it was, I thought we handled the game really well to start with, at least anyway.
Yeah, we probably played the better football, Tom, and it's obviously a tale of 2 Colwills that kind of impacted that first half. Let's talk about the goal first. Joel Colwill, not necessarily the most cultured of the Colwills, but that finish was lovely, wasn't it? It was great play by Capacchio to open up the space. Lovely little layoff into Colwill, and very minimal backlift on the shot, and he just arced it away from the goalie. It was a cultured finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, comfortable, composed finish. And like it's what we've come to kind of expect from him now. I know it's his first league goal, but just that kind of style of play, like he's just so good on the ball. And then just Capacchio, it feels like he's got about 45 assists this season. Like he had 2 in this game. He's constantly in those positions now.
Yeah.
Constantly finds himself in acres of space, and he makes the right decision all the time. Like he is turning into, like, we knew he was a talent, and we knew he'd play an instrumental part in this season, but he's getting better and better. And like, yeah, seeing him link up with Colwill as well is great to see. Like the youngsters yet again linking up for us and coming into fruition. But yeah, it's a fantastic finish. And like that early on in the game, it kind of settles the nerves, because I know going into this game myself, you kind of knew this was going to be a scrappy game, and it felt like a really important one for us. Like we've lost like 3 games in the last 6 and like that. And it felt like we needed a result in this one, and it was a good way to kind of just settle us down a little bit.
Yeah, Ben, it's, it felt important that we scored that early on. I must admit, I just looked at the FOTMob now, and I didn't realise it was within the first 10 minutes, let alone the first 7 minutes. It felt perhaps a bit longer while watching the game, but it kind of settled everyone down a little bit, didn't it, at that point? It settled the crowd down, it settled the home fans down, and it just kind of set the tone for the day.
Yeah, I think when you're playing a team that's high up in the league, and Northampton were a team... Like I forgot we all had them down as relegation favourites, and I think they were like 3rd favourites to be relegated with the bookies. So they're doing well, like they're performing above expectations. But I think you come up a team sort of one of the favourites to be promoted. If you concede an early goal to them, the fans get very quiet. It's going to dampen the spirits quite nicely, and that's exactly what the players needed to do. And sort of probably the only disappointing thing is that the injury happened and we couldn't really go on to put sort of a bit more of a comfortable display in, because up until that point I thought 1-0 this could be 2 or 3-0 quite comfortably before half time, because we started really, really well. I just want to go back to that, and just really impressed me how comfortable we made that game to start with.
I think the Colwill injury was the turning point in that first half, wasn't it, Ben? In that sense, I think it took the wind out of our sails a little bit. It killed our momentum a little bit, because Colwill at that point was probably the player who was getting on the ball the most. He was the one who was making stuff happen in the middle of the park, by kind of finding those pockets of space that we know he does so well. And I think as much as he tried to stay on, I think as soon as he went down, you knew it was a relatively bad injury, didn't you?
Yeah. I've got to question some of our players as well with that. Colwill was down for quite a while. No one went to the ball to make a tackle or just do like a basic foul to get him to get treatment on. It took a minute or 2 for the ball to go out of play. Like Northampton are under no obligation to kick the ball out. Like if I was them, I'd have carried on playing. But it was poor game management from us to not sort of try and do anything to sort of get him seen too earlier. But yeah, he was clearly done from the moment he went off. Like his boot off, hobbling along. I'm amazed he came back on to begin with. To be honest, I thought he was done there and then.
Yeah, he when he went off for his treatment, he actually sat down on the bench with his boot off, and I thought, that's it. Like, there's no way he's coming back on. But he did, and then obviously it was too much for him, and he went off, Tom. We'll talk about the impact of Ruben Colwill's injury and who replaces him a bit later on, but it was a bad tackle, wasn't it? I think he gets the ball, but I think he knows what he's doing. He kind of traps his ankle underneath him.
Yeah, it's a naughty one. Like, he's just left it in there, isn't he? Like, there's intent. There's intent there to leave something on him. And I get it, right? He's our most creative player. You want to let them know you're there, all that stuff. But there's a bit of malice in it. It's not just like a physical shove or anything like that. It's a naughty one, and it's caused an injury. So I don't know. It's a disappointing one to see. Because like at the end of the day, right? And I know it sounds like a bit pathetic, but like you're all kind of professional footballers, right? You don't. I don't like it when you're like intentionally trying to injure someone, and it did feel like it just wasn't needed in that situation, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think he can make that tackle without doing what he did, because he can get the ball, exactly. He can win the ball, or he doesn't even need to necessarily slide tackle there. He can jockey him but potentially win the ball. But I think, Ben, it showed that they were probably scared of Ruben in the sense of the quality he has, but it also probably showed that they're managed by a shithouse in Kevin Nolan.
Yeah, it was a Kevin Nolan tackle. I think it's exactly what I'd expect from him. And to be honest, like even at the level I've played at, if you can wipe a player out and sort of take him, I don't think he went out to put him out for a few weeks. But he definitely went out to take him out of this game and really put a knock on him. I don't think any player goes out to seriously injure a player, but he definitely went out to hurt him. And it's just, it's disappointing when it happens to you, but it's a challenge that I sort of see in football quite a lot and expect. Like, it's just one of those. He was controlling the game. If you've got an opportunity then to sort of eliminate the bloke that's controlling the game and their biggest threat, I can see why he's done it. I might not necessarily agree with it, but I can definitely see why he's done it, and where you can definitely see on the manager on the side who it's come from as well.
Yeah, and Tom, it was kind of a momentum shifter, wasn't it? It's a bit like ice hockey when you have a fight, you're trying to shift momentum. A tackle like that takes out their best player. And Northampton at that point probably became the better team in the first half. I think if you look at the shots in the first half, they dominated. Their 9 shots to our 3. And it was that point they started to really come into the game and sort of not necessarily win the physical battles, but try and take it to us a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah, we were deflated after that point. It completely killed the momentum. And I don't think there's any doubt that they were the better team from that moment on for the rest of that half and early in the second as well. Like, I suppose it justifies what he did, really, doesn't it? I'm there calling it pathetic, but it's the exact reason you do it, right? You take out the player. He did exactly that. We lost our momentum. We lost our creative spark. We kind of, the substitute we make as well isn't the most creative one either. So we kind of just lose that outlet. And yeah, it brought them right back into the game. And to be honest with you, we were lucky not to concede a couple. There was a few hairy moments that they hit the post.
Hit the post.
Yeah, like a few like dodgy moments in the box. And to be honest, we did quite well to survive the rest of that half without conceding. But yeah, it did really killed what we, like, our creative spark. And on a day like that as well, I don't know, it's hard to get yourself back in the game in those conditions. It becomes an absolute trudge from then on.
Yeah, Ben, was Turnbull the right substitute to bring on? I questioned it at the time in the sense that you had Kellyman on the pitch. Could have brought him inside and brought Willock on at that point. You could have brought Robinson on, who could have filled that 10 role. You could have brought Robertson on and pushed him at the pitch. But Turnbull came on, and it felt like to me that at that point, BBM was just trying to calm it down a little bit after the injury, kind of bring on a steady Eddie. And I don't think Turnbull did anything wrong, particularly in yesterday's game. I thought he was all right when he came on. He got on the ball. He played some nice passes here and there. He's still a bit slow for me, but at
that's
the time,
exactly what I was going to say.
Well, you say it then. You don't even need me to ask the question.
I thought he was fine. It's just he slowed everything down. I felt like there was real impetus going forward from the wide players. The second it got to him, it was take a touch, turn, like pretty much do a 360 look. And his range of passing is good. And like, you got a couple of good shots off that he's probably hasn't done for the last few weeks. But it was just the second he got on the ball, it slowed the pace right down, allowed Northampton to sort of, when we were on the counter, allowed the Northampton defence to get to us and press us. And it just made it a bit more difficult, I felt. It was nothing particularly bad. It wasn't like a stinking performance, but the way we were set up to sort of hit them and we were attacking from everywhere else, it felt like a game screaming for Callum Robinson, but there must be something there where he's carrying a knock or something for him not to come on there. Because it was the sub I was expecting us to see, but no, it also shows that we've got a bit of depth though, doesn't it? Suddenly you're looking at going, we've got a couple of options. Willock could have come on. Like you say, Kellyman the 10, Robertson, they can all play in that area. It's sort of good to show there's a fair bit of depth there. It's just, you can't argue the results either because we did win.
Yeah, we did win. We'll talk about the second half, but talking about Robertson, Tom, I was a bit sceptical that it was a game for Alex Robertson yesterday because I have this idea in my head now that he's a bit of a prima donna, fancy Dan type footballer and he wouldn't want to come on against Northampton in stinking rain. But I've jumped ahead a little bit. But when he came on, he was really good, wasn't he? I think he showed what we expect from him, which is an element of control, an element of kind of culture on the ball. He was spraying passes, he was bringing others into play that we haven't seen yet this season from him.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think there's a reason why our fan base, he's that player that we want to be brought on in these situations now.
100%.
Like we've had those players in the past. We've had plenty of them and he's become that because we know he's got that talent there. We haven't seen it consistently, but you know, he's come on and he's put in a decent performance and watch the clamour for him to play in the games coming up. But I'm sure he'll get plenty of game time because the amount of fixtures we've got for the rest of this calendar year is insane. Like we've got so many of them. And like you touched on it with the depth there, all of a sudden it does feel like we've got quite a deep squad considering we've made very little signings. Like you look at our bench from that game, we've got Osho, NG, Robinson, Turnbull, Turner, Willock. That is quite the strong bench.
Really good bench.
And we're missing the likes of Tanner, Ashford, Lawler, like Eli King and stuff as well. And suddenly going, we've actually got quite a talented bunch here. And that's going to be so important over the next 4 or 5 weeks because, like I said, it's going to come thick and fast. And that could be the difference now. We're at the top of the league. We've got a game in hand. We need to win that game in hand and just keep the momentum going. And when we're going to be chopping and changing going forward, Robertson's going to be right at the centre of that. And he could be a real kind of outlet for us over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
I didn't realise we got 9 games till the new year.
It's insane. Yeah. Seven home games as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. the international break and all the rearrangements have really caught up with us now, haven't they? And I think that's correct. I think when you look at the bench and you're able to bring on NG, who was our player of the season for 2 years in a row, 3 years in a row. You bring on Chris Willock, who was lauded at QPR and scored obviously the third goal today. And Osho. I mean, again, Ben, I was sat there thinking when he brought Osho on, probably not a game for Osho, but it was the first time that I think he came on in a situation where he just needed to do the simple things, aka boot it long and win headers, and he won everything he had to win. And I think this team's starting to really coalesce now, isn't it? I think, at the start of the season, we were kind of, a new bunch coming together, and maybe there was it started well, then there's some cracks in it, but now it just feels like they're a proper unit as a team, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just added depth. And I think fair play to BBM for his man management with the Osho situation, because it was very easy for Osho's career.
What is that, Ben? Someone flushed the toilet.
Oh, can you hear that? Yeah. This is...
Yeah. Sorry, it just caught me and Tom. I can see Tom almost laughing.
I tried not to laugh, yeah. But yeah, throw him under the bus instead.
I can't hear it.
Professional.
My headphones are noise cancelling, so yeah, she must... Yeah, sorry.
Anyway, carry on.
I've had a wee. Sorry, yeah. So Osho's, I can't remember what I was going to say. Osho did well. Osho did good. BBM's brought him back into the squad quite well. I don't know.
You don't know. All right, I will move on.
I can't remember what I was going to say. I've lost my train of thought.
That's fine. Tom, the second half was very busy. Ethan Wheatley scored Northampton's goal. Look, it was a very rainy day, and I know fish are usually good in water, but Puskod struggled with that goal, didn't he? He kind of lost the ball in the air a little bit. Wheatley kind of outmuscled him, and he struggled to get back. But it was a good finish by Wheatley. He just hit that ball really hard, didn't he?
It was a good finish, yeah. And I refuse to say anything bad about Puskod.
Good, I don't want to either. I just have to acknowledge it.
No, it was, it was poor from him. Like, he kind of lost the man there, kind of muscled out of it. But to be honest with you, Northampton are quite a physical side, and I thought we largely coped with it quite well.
I think so as well.
Game. I think that's our one fear, or one of many fears, probably. We had gone into the season that we were a little bit lightweight, but we've kind of stood up to most tests that have been thrown at us, and Fish has as well. And I think he's just got that one wrong, really. He's got a little bit tangled up in it. He's lost his man, and like I said, it's a good finish. And yeah, straight over to the crowd to give it big uns. Because I suppose was he a 19-year-old low knee? I don't blame him for it, but it's funny how quickly that bit him on the arse.
Yeah, I'll get to that. I think in Will Puskod's defence, the wind was swirling, the ball was swirling in the air, and I think he just lost it momentarily, and Wheatley was able to take advantage. But I don't think Fish did much wrong apart from that. Like you said, he won most headers. Him and Callum Chambers, again, in a physical game, you worry about someone like Callum Chambers, but he stood up to everything he needed to do. He didn't let them get bullied, and he was very good on the ball when he needed to be as well. So I think that was the one black mark in their copybook, basically, as a defence, because everything else they did, as you say, Tom, they stood up to it really well. Let's talk about Ethan Wheatley scoring that own goal, Ben. Yes, as Tom said, he gave it big guns to the fans, and then within the next couple of minutes, we've gone up the other end. And look, he scored one really good goal at the other end, and that's a difficult finish from a corner, isn't it? It's swirling in from Bagan. It's about waist high, and he gets a lovely touch on it and off the post and in. Too bad it's an own goal.
Yeah, I used to say that I think the finish of the second goal is better than the first. It's an impressive little strike. Fair play to him. It is a life lesson, though, isn't it, for a young... you look at the sort of lessons that young players learn. Yeah, because that really has bit him on the arse, and it is wonderful to see, because that is quite funny. But he really started... he's one of the few players I've looked at this season and gone, tidy footballer there, and like for the opposition, looked at and gone, like, really, really tidy footballer. I can see him sort of playing up in, like, wouldn't surprise me if, like, Northampton don't keep hold of him when he goes up to the Championship in January, because really impressed me. Like, worked really hard all over the shop. Yeah. But yeah, don't give it the big one for an equaliser is what I would say, for 1-1 as well. It's not the time to give it the big one, because stuff like that does happen.
Yeah, I think if you look at his performance yesterday, he played 90 minutes, 1 goal, 1 own goal, 4 total shots on target, 4 total shots, sorry. And I think pretty much all of them were on target or blocked. So he's obviously put in quite a good performance for Northampton. What was I going to say about that? It was very hard to tell what happened with that goal, because they were scoring at that point down the other end from us at Northampton. And it was raining and it was windy and it was very hard to see. So none of us really knew. I think even their fans celebrated as if the goal hadn't happened, because we celebrated to go 2-1 and their fans were going, "Hooray!" It was like, no, we've scored. It's 2-1. But no one really knew what was going on. So it was really hard to tell exactly what happened. I thought Bagan had scored direct from a corner, so I'm going to give it to Joel Bagan, who was probably our man of the match overall yesterday. Him and Kapakio at left and right back were fantastic. And I think, I say it every week, it's Bagan has just become a rock in our defence, and he's the most consistent player there. Without him, we look poorer. His corners have got better, as evidenced by yesterday. His cross for Salek's disallowed goal, Tom, was pinpoint. Let's talk about Yusuf Sari. Once again, fouled all the time. We should change that song, really, to fouled all the time, because it really is getting beyond the joke. What does he have to do? We've got questions about it. I think Thomas Taylor's asked us a question about. We'll get to it. Does someone need to take a chainsaw to his leg for it to be given as a foul? Because he spends 90 minutes getting pushed, pulled, shoved to the ground, and as soon as he gives anything back, it's given as a foul. It's just so frustrating, isn't it?
It's mad, really. Like, 'cause it's just so consistent.
It's consistently bad.
Yeah, it's mad. Because you think, there'd be the odd ref that's going to let things go. Every single game, he just doesn't get. Doesn't matter if it's the league. It doesn't matter if it's the cup.
Yeah,
it just every single referee has decided, he's not getting anything. And I don't know whether it's just one of those players where they just assume he's making a meal of it or something. But it is funny to see him celebrate with both like a fist, like double-handed fist pump in the air when he finally gets a free kick.
But I didn't think that was sarcasm. I think that was genuine relief. I finally won a fucking free kick.
That's what it's become, though. And I'd be so frustrated if I was him, because he has scored a few goals still, but he should have a few more. And it's not through his lack of trying, but it just feels hypocritical. It feels like he gets penalised quite a lot, but he gets nothing back. And I don't know. It feels like they put a poster up beginning of the season and just like, not this guy. Don't give him anything. Because, like you said, it's across the board. He's getting nothing week in, week out, home and away, cup or league. That man is getting absolutely nothing. So fair play that he keeps going. He still puts a shift in every game, and he still looks a threat, even if he's handcuffed every game.
Well, there was a moment in the first half where I think there was a ball flying over the top and it swirled about a bit and it dropped behind the defender, and Salek's got the run on him, and the defender just tries to get in his way. So Salek just runs through him. Like, the defenders tried to block him off, Salek runs through him. And that's been happening to him all game, that he's been blocked and impeded. As soon as he gives it back, the referee gave a foul instantly. He's just like, well, that's a foul. It's like, it might be, but also that's happened to him all game. Similarly with the goal, Ben. Obviously, I do think it is a push. I do think he's nudged the defender off the ball to make the space for himself. But that happens to him all game, and it isn't given. And it's not... I do think the referee was right to block that goal off, because it is a foul. But it's frustrating that they're the ones that he sees when Salek is involved.
Yeah, the inconsistencies are just mind-blowing. But that referee, I know we keep going to it week in, week out, but he was honking. He was so bad. Just the lack... All you want is some consistency with refereeing. And I've got no problem. That goal from Salek was a foul, like you said. It was a shove. He made the space, and that's how he got the header off. That's fine. But some of the stuff Salek was doing, like at one point, his shirt's over his head, and the ref's not giving anything. There was another where Salek saw him being fouled, and he gives the foul against him. It was just odd, man. It's hard not to feel like it's targeted at that point. When you've seen some of the decisions given against him, it feels very personal. And fair play to him, because I'd have lost my head well before he did with it, because he's handling it quite well, all things considered.
Yeah, it is testament to him that he's not hit someone yet, really, isn't it? There are moments where you just think, I would let you have 3 games suspended for elbowing someone in the head when they're fouling you like that. Or, I don't want him to do that, because, football's nice and all. But I also do like my centre forwards to be a bit moody, and I wouldn't mind it if he did it, just to kind of, just to draw attention to it a little bit. Because I imagine that there's probably videos that you could pull together of every game, of a compilation of every foul that's not given to him. And I would say, we are 15, 16 games into the season. There's 7 or 8 a game, isn't there? Maybe even more. We're probably looking at 100 fouls already.
Fotmob was saying he's the most foul player in the game with 3 fouls. I reckon there was at least 3 times. Yeah, 3 times more weren't given.
It's a joke. It's a bloody joke. Let's talk about Nathan Trott, Tom. Look, we've talked about Salek being fouled. We've got to talk about how good Nathan Trott is, because that's what we do on this podcast. They're the themes that come up every week. 2 really big saves in that game to keep us in it, and I think the second one was the most impressive. He's going one way. The attacker puts it behind him, and he gets such a strong hand on it that he's able to put it wide. And it was at such a crucial time. I know we talk about it every week, but he is class, isn't he, Nathan Trott? And those saves are things that are keeping us where we are in the table.
Yeah, 100%. Like we were talking about it earlier on, like how we feel like we're a team who are gelling and stuff like that. But that game could have easily been 2-2 or 3-2 to them. Like this could have been a very, very different podcast. And that is largely down to Nathan Trott. And that has happened 4-5 times this season already. I think he's made one mistake this year. And outside of that, he's been absolutely outstanding. And, like you said, he's going the wrong way. The ball's going the other. That's the one where the striker is wheeling off thinking he scored. And he's got a hand to it. It's just, like, it doesn't look much at first. But to change your centre of gravity and put a hand out there, and that strong a hand to put it on the post, is a fantastic save. And he's another player who seems to be getting better and better. And there's no doubt that our defence are getting better because of it, because you've got him behind it. We've said it before. You've got someone who's going to rescue you if you make the odd mistake. You can take the odd risk.
Yeah.
And by God, we've been taking a few risks with Osho at times this season. So we're going to need a keeper like that. But yeah, he's just outstanding. He's far too good for this level. And I'm hoping we go up this season and we keep him, because I don't think like a Premier League team would gamble on him now yet, a League One keeper like that. But he'll thrive in the Championship. There's no doubt about it.
If you're a relegated Championship club and you need a keeper, you're probably looking at him, right? Because he's that good, and he can help shore up a leaky defence going into the Championship and bring you confidence. I think that's what he's done for us, Ben. Like, Alnwick wasn't a bad keeper last season. He wasn't. I won't criticise Alnwick. He's obviously not Brian Barry Murphy's cup of tea, and that's fine. But being able to come in as a keeper and cement your kind of position that quickly with making saves like that every week just shows how good a keeper he is, really.
Yeah, he's fallen into that don't fall in love with a lone player mould, doesn't he? And yeah, I'm very much in love with him. But he's been huge. Just everything about him coming in has just been game changing, because it's not easy to do that. Come in, didn't have the best time, but the sounds things in Copenhagen wasn't sort of like when you're replaced by Runnerson, there's got to be something wrong. But yeah, he's come in and just been an absolute unit. Like, especially after like Turner came in and we thought there could have been pressure there. Turner started really well for us. You've got Anik there as well, who's a very, very confident goalkeeper. It's not an easy place to come in, and to come in and deservedly hold that number one spot and then sort of arguably be the best keeper in the league. Full credit to him. And it is now just hope there is no recall clause in January and we can keep for the rest of the season.
My working understanding of those loans is when there's like an obligation to buy, I don't think there's a recall clause, because it's like more of like a preview to a transfer rather than like they want him back or anything. But I could be wrong. You mentioned Matt Turner there, Ben. Let's talk about Matt Turner's cameo yesterday, where he emerged, brought a bottle of water to Nathan Trott, got so much stick from the Northampton fans down the left side that security had to come out and take him back to his chair. Then he got booked. 10 out of 10 performance.
Yeah, it's exactly what you want from him. Bloke's a shithouse. Absolutely loves it, and I love him. Like, more rattled, like I said on Twitter, like there isn't a player in the Football League with a better people rattled per appearance record than Matt Turner. Just absolutely outstanding work whenever you see him on and off the pitch, rattles it and just knows what he's doing. And long may it continue. I think that new contract was fully deserved for those sort of actions alone.
3 more years. I think the Northampton fans were some of the most easily rattled fans I've seen in a while. Not everyone, but there were 3 or 4 dads who got really mad. And Tom, when you're at an away game and you see dads with their kids running down the front to kind of put their middle fingers up and tell someone to fuck off, you know you've rattled a team, don't you?
Yeah, it's good fun when that happens. You know, when those blokes who look after, they've seen their kid for the first time in 2 weeks and they've just ruined another day for them. Like, it's just like, I remember it like West Brom, and it's just
Actually,
like,
I don't want to go to Wagamama's now.
Yeah, it's like you've got your 6-year-old next to you and you're threatening to kill someone you've never met in the other end. It really is the beautiful game, isn't it? Community spirit and all that. But yeah, it's funny, especially in those small grounds as well, because
you can really see the whites of people's eyes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. You can pretty much shake hands with them, even or hit them. Like it's just it's never not funny, and sometimes you can even pick it up like on TV. In some of these games, you could just see individuals getting completely rattled, and yeah, these are the games I really miss when you can just wind up Keith from minute 1 right until the end of the game.
Well, when we scored our third goal, I did take great pleasure in just pointing out one of the most easily rattled men. And I was just like, you. And he was going outside. I was like, no. And it was just like, his son's right next to him. He's going, come on, outside. I was just going, no. You'll have a heart attack, you fatty. Let's talk about Chris Willock's goal, Ben. Look, there's that Suarez meme where he scored against PSG. He didn't need to go top bins, but he did. And that's what Chris Willock did in that moment, didn't he? It was great build-up by Use. He was running down the wing whilst having his shirt pulled. He kept the ball in miraculously. Brought Kebabs into play, who found Willock. And that's what you get. That's the Chris Willock we thought we were getting last season, wasn't it? He cut inside onto his right and just put it in the top corner.
Yeah, it's just the cherry on top, isn't it? Just the fact it did go top bins. It's just a lovely finish. Kebabs, absolute animal for running that hard in, like, was it the 90th or the 89th minute, something like that? Like, to run
93rd.
Yeah, 93rd minute to do all that run after you've run your arse off for 90 minutes before. Like, fair play to him because he was outstanding. But the finish just adds to it as well because it's windy, it's rainy, it's very easy to aim for top bins and slice that sky high. So fair play to him. And I think Willock, the second he came on, made a difference to that team. Second he came on, Meg's the player running down the wing, sort of looking to get it in. He's a wonderful footballer when he's on, like, at the races, isn't he? And I really hope we continue to see more of that because it's nice to see a player come good at last.
It was a great finish, and obviously we were at the far end, but it was the goal we could see the clearest because we were just right behind it. And he just got underneath it. He got it in the top corner. It was a bit knucklebally in the conditions. He just gave the keeper no chance, didn't he?
It's the perfect way to finish off a game. Like, especially when it was a little bit nervy at times as well. Like, just to do that 93rd minute, it's like, yeah, done and dusted. And it's just a beautiful finish. And, like, I must admit, I forgot about Willock. I forgot that he just wasn't in and around the team for the last few weeks. Because it was only like the Puss Squad starter himself, Reece Jenkins. I was speaking to him last week and he mentioned Willock. And I was like, I completely forgot that he's coming back in the squad. What an asset to have. And he's just proved it. He's come on, and that's the exact type of finish you expect from him. And yeah, we've got more and more of these players who are out with the team for a bit, who come back in, have an impact. And like I said earlier, with Robertson as well, it's going to be so important over the next couple of months.
Yeah, and I think, in the week, BBM talked about Tanner being back on grass. And, you've got, yes, Colwill probably will be injured for a little while, but we'll have Tanner coming back into it. We've got, Robinson still hopefully fully fit, Willock coming back into it. So as much as we're going to lose Colwill as a talisman, I still think that there's some quality there to actually replace him. And we've got Kellyman who can play in the 10, which I would like to see at some point. Ben, who was your man of the match yesterday? I think for me, the fullbacks deserve a lot of credit for keeping that game going. Bagan and Kebabs were instrumental in that win. But who was your MOM, MOTM, POTM?
I think player of the match, politically correct, solidarity and all that. I think for me it was Kebabs. I thought he was outstanding. But another player I thought had a really good game was Chambers. I think Chambers did everything very solid and just made what could have been a very difficult game really solid and really impressed me.
Kebabs for you, Tom?
Matt Turner.
Okay.
No, it's got to be Kebabs. I think, like, going away on international duty as well, playing minutes as well, coming back in, putting in that type of shift, 2 assists as well, just kept running all game. He's just quality. He's absolute quality. And, like, he'll probably end up being our player of the season because he's just consistent week in, week out.
And I think a game like that yesterday, when you're an 18-year-old fullback against someone like Tom Eaves, obviously Tom Eaves is a terrible striker, but he's a big boy and he puts himself around. Kebabs just not overawed in the face of this kind of stuff. It was tough conditions yesterday, but he still won. I think most of his, I haven't checked the stats, but it looked like he won most of his headers. He won most of his dribbles. He was very good on the ball. He was very good tackling. And for an 18-year-old to be that mature and that confident already, it's insane that he wasn't playing before. I'm sure Omar Reza will take some sort of credit for it by saying, oh, I didn't play him, and now Cardiff are getting the benefits of him not playing because he's class now and he didn't play too many games last season. Fuck off, mate. Like, you should have been playing someone like him last season because he's just ridiculously good. Him and Lawler, Ben, for 18 and 19-year-olds, they're playing like they're in their late 20s.
Yeah, both players look like senior pros already, don't they? It's ridiculous just how confident and good they are on the ball. Does it help they're playing like a slightly lower level than they would have been last year? Yeah, and the team's not as good, but undeniably extremely talented footballers. And yeah, like you said, it's mad that they didn't get more of a chance last year.
Kebabs was man of the match. He had 6 defensive contributions, 3 headed clearances, 2 tackles, 4 recoveries. He won Only one of his aerial duels. There we go. See, I thought he won most of his headers. He only won 1 of 4. So I can be deceiving, boys. That's all I'm saying. Twitter.com/VFT Ninian for all your tweets. Thomas Taylor, I referenced this earlier. It's nearly Christmas, and I'm still none the wiser what constitutes a foul in the eyes of the referees in this godforsaken league. But hey, we won. Feels like a significant result going into an important and busy part of the season. Tom, as you said, 9 games. I think Ben said 9 games, but as we talked about, the 9 games between now and Christmas, getting a win to start that run off was important, wasn't it? And as much as it wasn't at times the most complete performance and the most good performance, to win a game like that 3-1 is very satisfying.
Yeah, I think it means more than like a comfortable 4-0. Like, do you know what I mean? The weather was grim. It's away from home. It's really tough. And yeah, we showed a different side of our game to kind of get through that. And yeah, it was all about the 3 points in this one because yeah, it's such a tough run, and that's probably one of the on paper easier games that we've got, which is it is a real tough one coming up for us. So yeah, really important 3 points to start off.
I think it shows the progress we've made under BBM, though, doesn't it? I think 6 weeks ago we lose that game. I don't think we're coming away with a 3-1. At best, we're coming away with a draw. But now we're sort of learning how to win those games and win tough. And that's more important than sort of putting together like and slapping a team 5-6-0.
I think it's funny because like we've become like what Wrexham were. You know, like after every game, there was a fan base going, they're one of the worst teams we've seen here this year. They're not going to get anywhere. And you look through like the BBC comments on this game, it's the same again, going, not convinced by these, no way they're going up automatic. But we're winning these games. And we've heard this from different teams throughout this season. And if we keep winning them like that, then great. We'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, I saw a Northampton fan tweet basically saying the difference was we were clinical. And I think, and that's fine. That's the way it's got to be sometimes. You have to go to these games, grind it out and win. And, you know, I think they probably had the better chances and they probably would say that they were the more attacking team on paper. But, you know, we scored our 3 goals and they only scored 1. So that's what it comes down to at the end of it, frankly. Kian says, good professional performance. Game managed was much better. Can we start counting how many times Salek celebrates winning fouls from here on out? So we're up to 1. Fergus Lysett says fans were unreal today considering the amount of travelling in the last month. I would still like us to start with Robbo and Salek up top, with Ruben potentially out for a while. I feel like it's a good chance to give it a bash. A good 3 points up on the road, up for Diff. I think we'll talk about who replaces Ruben in the next section. Utah Jazz fans UK, Andy says, this season reminds me why football is such a wonderful sport. Even the wild vacillations of the fan base are enjoyable. Quick question, this one's for you, Ben. Which current Cardiff City player would be the best WWE heel?
Oh, Perry NG. Perry NG is a proper chicken shit heel, old school chicken shit heel. All for it.
Would you not like to see, I'm trying to think who's a nice boy, like Callum Chambers become heel? Is that something
he hasn't got it? He hasn't got it in him. Too nice. I think Perry is just your proper dirty, horrible heel. Sort of, you know, goes there, slags off the grannies in the crowd, and proper Butlin style heel.
Gareth Anticott says, missing Glenn. Anyone seen him lately? He was publishing content yesterday. I think he might be off Twitter again, which I don't blame him because Twitter is a cesspit at the best of times. Dom LC says, 3 points on the road, back to the top of the league. Should Robertson have come on instead of Turnbull? Absolutely. Did Nathan Trott have any right to make that save at the end? Absolutely not. Do we care? No, we don't. Bluebird Coxey, how close is that to our first choice 11? Lawler for Chambers, maybe Tanner. Tom, I feel like we've got a manager who likes to change things. So settling on a first choice 11 is almost redundant. But as we've talked about, the squad depth is so good at the moment that even when you have players like Osho coming on for the last 10 minutes, you go, bloody hell, we've got some good players. So do we have a best 11? There probably is one. But are we ever going to see it? No, probably not. So I'm happy with the players we've got. I don't know if you feel the same.
I don't know if we have a best 11. I really don't, because I think it suits different games and different scenarios. Like, we have got like a fairly deep squad. Every time I've tried to like get a best 11 on paper and there's someone I forget all the time, like there'll be Willock or something like that. I'm like, oh, you could probably get into that. And it is a horses for courses thing. We said it before. I know we've accused like BBM of like tinkering when he hasn't needed to, but you can't really argue with him doing it because it's worked in this situation, and I'm sure it'll work more times than it doesn't. So yeah, I think rotation is going to be key in such a like physical league, and that'll be the difference between someone like us and a team like Doncaster down in 19th. Like it's we've got depth and other teams don't, and come April, May time, that'll probably be the difference between if we go up or don't.
Where am I? Matt Bluebird says, what a save. That won us the game. DT at 10 was an odd move as he can't seem to pass forward, but a great team win and Willock was class off the bench. Hope the Colwills are okay and back soon. Yeah, I didn't even touch the Joel Colwill. Had what looked like I don't know if it was a cut to his knee or something, Ben. He kind of went over and he was off the pitch. And it looked like at one point, it looked more serious than it was, but he managed to kind of get back up. I don't know if you saw more from where you were watching.
It was just a cut on his knee. It looked pretty deep, but carried on. So I don't think it'd be a long one. That it's just unfortunate that it happened. Really
unfortunate for them both. Both injured. Rick Lewis says we will take a win no matter what, no matter how they come at this stage, especially after losing our last two in the league. Hopefully the injuries to the Colton Bros are not too serious. We turn to the top of the league with a game in hand. Big up BBM. Matt Ali Mashi says big 3 points and giving ourselves a great platform to go on a nice run now. Plenty of home games to come through before the end of the year, where hopefully we can begin to pull away. Thoroughly enjoying this Chris Willock remontada this season. Owen Davis, a blow, Ruben being injured. Luckily, we have some good options in that position. What's your preferred option for his replacement? We've got a bit. We'll talk about that afterwards. Three Little Bird says, are we going to need a line of duty-style investigation into the fouls on Salek being overlooked? Beyond the joke now. I would pay to see that. I would love to see a high-end production about Yusuf Salek being fouled and the conspiracy and how far it runs, because I believe it runs right to the top. Matt Thomas, somehow we're top of the league. Let's get on a roll and pull away before the end of the year. Who replaces Colwell? If out Kelly Munman, then NG right back with Capaccio on the wing. Don't mind it. Sellers, great tenacity to win there, but feel the Puscod-Chambers combo just doesn't work. Is there a more ineffective substitute than David Turnbull? Just doesn't add to the defence or attack. He's just there. Svend, big win that. Top of the league, baby. Let's hit some good form now. Salek celebrating getting a free kick was my highlight. And how good is Trott? And here's the big question. Top 3 Boxing Day snacks. Tom looked confused. Ben, you looked wistful. I'm coming to you first, Ben.
You can't beat the leftover sandwich. I think that is top tier. You got your turkey, your stuffing, all the other bits left over, all in a sandwich with a bit of cranberry sauce. Smash. That's 10 out of 10. And then I think it's just your chocolates, isn't it? It's your leftovers, it's your heroes, it's your celebrations. Roses, meh. But other than that, gold tier. And then, I don't know, really. What do I do then? Pringles. Love a Pringles on Boxing Day.
Class. Can't go wrong with that. Tom?
Yeah, it's just meat on meat on meat, isn't it, really? Like whatever's left over. I think the word snack threw me because there's no snack about it. It's just constant eating until I'm physically sick. And then you've got the crisps side of it where, you know, you've got your pigs in blankets flavored crisps, but they're knocking about. It's just smoky bacon. They've rebadged it, you fool. But yes. But you know, you've just got all those knocking about, and then just Terry's chocolate orange. Yeah. You know, don't buy them the rest of the year. Eat at least a dozen of them over about 3 days at Christmas time.
Oh, do you not buy them throughout the rest of the year? I'm partial
not really.
to it.
I try and save myself. I'm partial to it. That's the problem. I'm trying to save it for special occasions, and that occasion is Christmas. Yeah.
Let me just jump in here on the Terry's chocolate orange. What is your take? Look, we're getting on a tangent here.
Like us.
What's your take on the Terry's chocolate ball and a Terry's mint chocolate ball? Because I like them. Chocolate orange remains elite, but I don't mind a chocolate ball. I don't mind a mint one. Ben, Tom, what are your thoughts?
I'm fine with them. I'll also throw in the popping candy individual segment bags. Lovely little treat. Perfect little Friday night sort of bit. The chocolate one threw me a bit. I've still yet to sample because I'm still a bit on the fence with it, but I can see the appeal because Terry's chocolate is wonderful. But yeah, I've yet to try it. But the mint one, all in on that. Love a mint chocolate.
Tom? No, mint chocolate is fucking disgusting. Any chocolate that tastes like toothpaste should be in the bin. There's no need for it. Anyone who says they like it's lying. It's just there's no need.
What about a mint Aero?
I knew you were going to say mint Aero, but like just go for an Aero or a Whisper. I'm angry about this for some bizarre reason. I don't like mint chocolate. I want
after eight.
After eight are a bit weird.
They're always knocking about my nan's house around Christmas time. I don't think she likes them. I think she feels that she has to buy them. I don't know where it began, but it needs to end. This is my campaign against mint chocolate.
I've got you here. What about you go for a curry? You paid up, and the guy brings the mint crisp coins, the gold, like in the gold foil. You leaving them?
Throw it back at them. I'm not eating it.
I got really talking about getting angry about chocolate. I got really angry about Yorkies the other day because I got a Yorkie duo from the shop. A normal Yorkie is 5 segments. How big do you think a Yorkie duo is? Which is 2 smaller Yorkies. How big do you think a Yorkie duo is in terms of segments? Ben, I'm going to you first.
I'm going to say 4.
Each individual bar was 4.
Each individual bit is 4, yeah.
So it's 8 segments. Tom?
I think it's 6 segments in total.
You're bloody right, Tom. A Yorkie duo should be 10 segments if a normal Yorkie is 5 segments. The Yorkie duo was 6 segments total. That's just 1 extra segment. That's not a duo. That's a 1.25 Yorkie.
The chocolate rants. Here we go.
I think there's something going on because I got triggered by courgettes the other day. When Fee messaged me on the way home from work, and my work day was fine. There was, I'm guessing there's something different going on. We said, "Oh, can you stop in Asda and pick up some courgettes?" Parked the car, walked into Asda, and I was in a fucking foul mood. I was there going, "This growing up like bullshit. What am I doing buying courgettes? They're not even a good vegetable." I proper went on a moan, and I reckon it took me 3 hours to get out of the head fog just by buying 2 courgettes. I don't know what it was.
Unbelievable stuff. If you have any food rants that you want to get off your chest, twitter.com/VFT Ninian. Thanks, Fen, for that question as usual. You always spark a debate. Jay Mills, yes, boys. What a goal by Willock. I hope Ruben is okay. That ref was a shambles and Trott is outstanding. Davis and Bacon linked up nice and Salic RFC continues. Plenty of Puskod shouts behind to the right of the goal. And thanks to the lads, you made my lads' day around us. It was a proper away day yesterday. People coming up to you after the game saying, "Positive pod, please." I met Brian Barry Murphy at the train station. He was eating a Domino's pizza, if anyone's interested. I don't know what flavour, but he was champing down on that Domino's pizza. And he was very amenable. If you were in Northampton train station at around 6:15 yesterday, you would have heard the cleanest dap up by me and him that anyone's ever heard. The noise reverberated around the concourse. And he was just on the way to London to see his missus. So he's in for a lovely night, I can imagine. Bit of dinner, bit of food, bit of drinks around London in the capital. He saw Christmas lights. I bet he was really excited for that. So he was a lovely man. And he was so unassuming. He was just sat by himself eating his pizza. And I had to double take to check it was him. Kind of walked past him on the seat and I went, "It's bloody Brian Barry Murphy." Unbelievable.
How did you initiate it? Because I'm a coward. I don't go and speak to anyone.
I literally read over. I went, "I'm really sorry, mate, but you're a great man. Thanks for winning today." And I was so giddy. I was so giddy about the day because we'd won. I'd had a pint, and that tipped me over the edge. I was like, "Oh my God, Brian, you're such a great man. Thank you for being our manager." I was pathetic.
Oh, that explains the smile now. That wasn't a smile. That was fear.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you follow us on Twitter, you can see the photos in our tweets from yesterday. He looked very happy, Brian. A shit-eating grin, I think, is probably the phrase, because he was eating a lovely pizza. Again, Brian, what flavour was that pizza? Please tell us. Matt CCFC says, Turnbull did the basics so well. Really impressed by him today. Trott just is too good for us, isn't he? We've missed Willock. He was great off the bench today in some strike. Proper hard-fought win. Hopefully we can go on a run now. GG the Bluebird. I'm convinced Trott could stop the war in Ukraine, but could he stop Salic from losing it completely when he finally snaps over the hopeless refereeing? I don't think anyone's going to be able to stop that when it happens. MJCCFC, 7 home games before the end of 2025. Top of the league with 1 or 2 games in hand. Was such a vital game today. Completely changed the outlook ahead of 4 uninterrupted months of football. Glenn CCFC, amazing to get the win after international break, considering international break bring on Mansfield. The treatment Salic gets from the officials is nothing but scandalous, and it's happening every match. Drew, 3 goals and 3 points. Happy Saturday. I hope Ruben isn't injured out for too long. This one's the big question. Forever Blue 86. Shag, marry, avoid. BBM, Reza, Mick McCarthy. It's easy. I think this is easy. But Ben, you talked off air about how you had this done. What's your shag, marry, avoid there?
I'm having a night of passion with Mick. There's no doubt about that. I'm having a fumble and a tumble with big Mick McCarthy. It's gonna be wonderful.
Oh, and you'll enjoy it, son. You'll enjoy it.
It can't get better than this. It can.
As he unspools a chocolate orange and melts it down over his chest.
Oh, that's an image I don't need in my head. Yeah, that's happening. Marrying BBM just seems like a lovely bloke, and I think your life would be well organized, and it'd be a happy life. And it's the easiest to avoid of all, isn't it? You're avoiding Reza. Yeah, easy one.
Yeah,
I think that's mine as well. Tom, any advances on that? Do you want a night of passion with Omar Reza?
No, he's too needy, isn't he? He's just so needy. Yeah, I can't argue with it. Yeah, I can't get that image on my head already, but yeah, the reason it is there. Yeah.
I
Sorry
thought you
about
that
that,
was
guys.
Oh, we know what the thumbnail's going to be, don't we?
No, we don't. No.
A chocolate orange melted over Mick McCarthy's chest. Dylan Barrett, Nathan Trott could have saved the Titanic. Gareth Dunning, old school day out, loved it in a weird sort of way. Capaccio, our new winger, solves the problem. I haven't mentioned that out of the back of the Northampton ground, away from the away end, you could see a Wagamama's, a Nando's, and a Bella Italia, and the fans did come up with the "What's that coming over the hill?" chant. It's a Wagamama's. It's a Wagamama's, which for Cardiff fans is pretty good. It's pretty good, pretty original, and it picked off pretty quickly. Northampton's ground is small and surrounded by every possible fast food outlet that you could think of. I think to the left of it was KFC, Five Guys, Taco Bell, and I think a Burger King, all in the same sort of block of buildings. So not a healthy place, I can't imagine.
I feel like it's the kind of place that still has a TGI Fridays there, even though they've gone bust.
It has a TGI Fridays, but it is closed and it was boarded up. So the TGI Fridays was in that same run of bits as well. So it was definitely there. We went to a lovely pub. I will say the pub we went to was Albion Brewing. I think it was called Phipps. It was a really nice brewery. They were very accommodating to us. Lovely warm pork scratchings on the bar. And Tom, it was next to a place that I think you'd like, King Billy's Music Bar.
Yeah, fine. I was like, wondering where you're going to go with that. I was like, why me? I said, yeah, got it. Yeah.
There we go. You've got it.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Savigma saying Chris Willock copying Junior at Hoylett today. Bit pathetic, really. Oliver Rees, I urge some of my fellow followers to sign this immediately. For the record, I was part of the Mark Harris fan club. And it's a Chris Willock apology form. Reason for behaviour. The media convinced me he was done. I was jealous of Willock. I only looked at stats. And the tick at the bottom is, I will hereby respect Chris Willock and I will not talk down on the future Ballon d'Or winner. Great tweet, Oliver Rees. Rory Chapman, that save, that goddamn save. Ella Espinolia, how do we replace Ruben? Harry Dickens, can any of you explain how referees judge fouls in League One? Look, Harry, you're a barrister. I was going to say barista there, but you don't make coffee, you make law. You're a barrister. Get this case taken on. Get this case taken on. Take it right to the top. You can solve this. You have the ability to do it. Gareth Davis, Alan Carr, Dr. Martin, your boys took one hell of a beating. Lee Sanders, the poetic justice of Wheatley, giving it the big one to our fans for no reason at all, then scoring an OG 3 minutes later. Bagan and Davis so good down the left today. Ruben's injury killed all the momentum in the first half. We were flying until then. Hope it's not too bad. Jamie O'Connell, how the fuck did we win that? Our defence was getting railed more than Bonnie Blue after her 1,057th person. Only thing I will say is please can we get a petition going for BBM to stop shaving when we do play shit. Luckily we won today. David Charles says referee was awful. The one player who would want on the end of a Capaccio pass to score the third goal would be Willock. But how many times do we lose possession out defence by trying to play football? Sometimes in conditions like today, especially, Rose Ed might be an option. And our show did that towards the end. So I will give our show his flowers there. Let's talk about the Colwill injury before we look briefly ahead to Mansfield. The big question, Tom, and the big thing that people are asking is who replaces him? Obviously, Colwill is our number 10. It looks like he's done ligament damage. He was in a boot at the end of the game yesterday. Prognosis could be a month. It could be slightly longer. It could be slightly less. It depends, I guess, how the swelling progresses over the next couple of days. You're looking ahead to Mansfield next Saturday. How are you compensating for his injury?
It does feel like Kelly Munman is the kind of natural creative outlet. Like if it's the closest we've kind of got for like a like for like, even if it's not quite there. And that's what I'd like to see, really. I think it's a chance for him to step up now. Like he was saying, he was feeling his way into the season. He was feeling more comfortable the more he was playing. Well, now's your time to shine. I think it might not be a bad thing that we have to cope without Ruben for a while, because I think he's become like a first name on a team sheet, but it does kind of, you have to kind of tweak your tactics to fit him in at times. So I'd be really interested to see what we do over the next month. But yeah, for me, Kellyman would be the ideal choice, and then just moving pieces around him.
I think I agree with that. I think I would put Kellyman in 10. You can bring Willock on. If Tanner's on his way back, you can bring Tanner in. And I think we need someone, Ben, with that creative spark in the middle of the park. Do you think there's space for Robinson there? If Callum Robinson is fit, would you put him in there? Would you give even Alex Robertson a go in there, maybe? Or is it Kellyman for you as well?
I'd like to see Kellyman just out of interest. I think it's the not knowing is really piquing my interest with that, because like with the ball at his feet, he's fantastic. I think sometimes he struggles to get into the game and maybe being more central, a bit more of a free roaming role will get him in the game a bit more and get him to be a bit more creative. But it's just nice we've got those options. It's nice that we've sort of lost one of the best players in the league, and suddenly you're looking at it going, it's bad. It's not the end of the world. There are options there that we can do, and I think that's the encouragement bit. I don't think it'd be like with the rest of sort of BBM sort of selection tactics. I don't think there's a one size fits all replacement for him. It'll be different options for different games. I think it probably does push ahead the chance to see Callum Robinson and Salek together up top and starting that for 90. It also does give Robertson a chance to play in the 10 as well, which is something he hasn't had a chance to do under BBM yet properly. So it'll be interesting to see what he does, but I can't really work out what to do. But for me, yeah, Kellyman would be, for the next game, the one I'd like to see start.
It's a shame, isn't it, Tom, that, when you look back at last season, did we have many major injuries? I can't really remember players being out for long, obviously Aaron Ramsey excluded. But this season, we've had Tanner go down for a couple of months with a broken foot. We've now got Colwill potentially out for a month or so. It's a shame that we seem to be picking up these injuries, but it feels like that's just the way it's going to be in this league. It's a rough and ready league. It's a bit more agricultural than other leagues, and we're just going to have to roll with the punches on it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Because it's just another way that we test the youngsters that we've got in our squad. And we're benefiting from that at the moment. Like our lack of squad depth, or, the perception of our lack of squad depth at the beginning of the season has forced those youngsters to play in the team, and we benefited from it. So, again, we might unearth another gem here. There's someone else who's going to get a run of game. So, yeah, of all the players, I think Colwill, he's the one who stood out this year as a real standout. Every time we play someone, the opposition fans are going, who is this talent? But yeah, we can adapt, and other people have to step up. It's not the end of the world.
And Ben, that's the real cost of the injury for me. It's not necessarily, fans have criticised Colwill for potentially not scoring or assisting enough. I think that criticism is largely unfair, but there are games where he makes such a difference by just being on the pitch, because he draws players to him. He makes the space when we need the outlet. He's the link man between DMs and strikers and wingers, and he's the one who's often making things happen. We just need to find someone who could do that, right? Because that's the thing we're going to miss the most, is that kind of talismanic air that we have from him.
Yeah, you do feel for most games this season, he's had two men marking him near the whole time. And suddenly that sort of changes and creates less. If that doesn't happen, it creates less space for other players. People like Willock, who like drifting into that space. Isaac Davis, another one that sort of likes getting in and cutting in. It's going to be a bit more difficult for them if the Colwill replacement doesn't have the same sort of man marking stuff on him. Because he is a huge player, even when he's not at his best. And there have been some games where his performance has not been at that sort of top level. He still occupies defenders and causes havoc, and has the ability to cause some magic out of nothing. And that is, no matter what, that's going to be a loss. But you just have to wait and see now, don't we? See what goes on and see how we perform without him. Because there's always going to be a time with the amount of games we're playing, we were going to lose him at some point. So perhaps it's not a bad thing. It'd be nice for him to get back sort of in time for the Christmas rush. But I don't know if that's going to be likely.
I think it's a real shame that he's going to miss the Chelsea game, because I think those are the games, Tom, where look, it is a bit of a showcase for him, but it's the games where he thrives, because there is a bit more space with some of these teams at the top level. They don't necessarily press you as quickly as you get at League One, because they're more comfortable in the way they play and they're more set in their systems. And him against Chelsea, with BBM, who knows Maresca and knows how Maresca probably plays, we could have seen a really good performance from him. But also just on a personal level, like he misses the chance to test himself against a Premier League team.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that, I must admit.
Yeah, I know.
But then again,
I'm doing the thinking for all of us here, so don't worry.
Well, thank you. But I think every time he plays on TV, though, I'm scared that we'll sell him. So perhaps it's a good thing that we keep him out of the public eye. But no, I am gutted for him, because I think you are right. Like, it's the ideal type of fixture for him to kind of, like, Chelsea are going to come to try and beat us comfortably. And it does unlock a little bit of space. So, yeah, gutted for him, but hopefully it's not too long. I don't know. It's another chance for youngsters to play against Chelsea, right? Colwill's played in some big games. He's been to World Cups and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's not like it might not be that exciting to him. He's a player who doesn't look that excited at the best of times. So it's nice that someone else gets to have a go.
Yeah. I think his facial expression is probably nonplussed, is how I would describe it. Let's look ahead to Mansfield next Saturday, Ben. Mansfield currently sit around the 13th mark in the table. Your classic mid-table team here, Ben. They've won 6, drawn 4, lost 6. They've scored 23. They've conceded 22. They conceded 20, sorry. They have 22 points. Middling is how I describe them. Would you say that, Ben?
Yeah, just a nice throwback to Nigel Clough there, isn't it?
I love Nigel Clough. I think fair play to him. He's a good manager.
Yeah, it's just nice to see him in and about the Football League still. Just seems like a good egg. Yeah, they just, I don't know what it is. I still thought Aidan Flint played for them, so I remember he went to Walsall in the summer.
Yeah,
so again, it's another one of those sort of League One teams where I don't know a huge much about them apart from the fact that the kit's Goppin.
Oh, you'll know some of their players. Oshalaja, Will Evans.
Oh, is Fisher?
What did you say then, Ben? Fisher?
I didn't realise that Oshalaja's there.
Yeah, Oshalaja's there. He's been there for a couple of years.
And how could I forget Tyler Roberts?
Yeah, Tyler Roberts. Making his way around these lower League One clubs. Last season it was Northampton. Now it's Mansfield. Tom, what a player Tyler Roberts could have been. Not really.
No, he's all right. The job. This is definitely his level. There's no doubt about it. But like Ben has touched on it, though, it is kind of like, oh yeah, insert League One club I know fuck all about here. Like there's so many of those games this year, and that's ignorance of like obviously not looking into, but also that just shows how long we've been in the Championship for. Like we've been in that bubble for so long, and that's why it is quite exciting when you go, oh, Oshalaja plays for them, because was it Osatutu a couple of weeks ago? Like these players pop up again now. Like it's quite exciting. I think we're one of the only kind of fan bases that are probably excited about playing Mansfield, but there we go. But it's another dangerous fixture for us, isn't it? Like we're going to go into it expecting to win, and hopefully we don't come a cropper like we did against Burton.
Oshalaja's a weird one, isn't it? Because I thought he was going to be. It's another one that sort of era of players that I thought was going to come through and do quite well for us, and a decent career. But I thought
he's a good career.
Decent League One. But I thought, it probably is it. Yeah.
I think that physical side of it's probably kind of held him back a little bit, rightly or wrongly. But he's a tidy footballer.
He's 32, boys. I thought you were still 19, 20.
There's no need for that, is there?
No,
we're unk now. We're unk. That's the way it is. He was really. I think he ended up captaining at Burton, and I think that's. And he had a decent spell at Charlton and Wimbledon as well. Oshalaja. I do think he's one of those players, right? That I think at the time it was never going to work for him here, but I'm really pleased that he's managed to eke out a career in the Football League and keep it going for as long as he has. Because when you look at people like Ben Nugent and who started games for us, they dropped down the league so quickly. But he's just found his level and made it work for him. And it'd be nice to see him again as an ex pro. What about Will Evans, Tom? Do you like Will Evans?
I do. Good Welsh talent. Scores bags of goals, to be fair to him as well. So he's a dangerous player, but I don't know. We should be too good for Mansfield. He is a decent player, but we're better than that level, and I'm hoping we show that.
When was the last time we played him in the league, Ben? Quiz question for you.
98?
No, 2003. 23 years ago, or in Ryan March's terms, 13 years ago.
13 years ago.
13 years ago. We have played him in the FA Cup. I think we played him in 2018 in the FA Cup, but I do not remember that game at all. That must have been that. We didn't play them in 2018. No, we must have. That was the season we got promoted, not the season we were promoted. Because we played Gillingham in 2019 in the FA Cup. Do you remember that, Tom, when we got really wet?
I thoroughly enjoyed it, but Alex Smithies can do and rubbish keeper.
Any changes for the game on Saturday, Ben? Obviously, Colwill's going to be out. You bring a Kellyman in. Would you make any defensive changes? Bring Lawler back in?
I'd quite like to see it stay as a set back four, but we all know that's not going to happen. So there's going to be at least, again, every time there'll be 4 changes. Don't know what 4 there'll be, but there'll be 4 changes.
All right, Tom, could you predict those 4 changes? Colwill, obviously one of them.
I think Lawler will come back in. I wouldn't be surprised if Robinson starts over Salek.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Robertson coming in as well. But I don't know. It is so hard to pick what he's going to do. But that keeps it exciting, doesn't it? If we don't know, then the opposition ain't going to know either. So that's handy, I suppose.
Mansfield did lose to Huddersfield over the weekend 3-1. So their form at the moment is a bit patchy. They've won, 1 drawn, won and have lost their last 2. So hopefully we can take advantage of that. Quiz question. Which famous Premier League manager's son played for Northampton yesterday? I only realised this after the game.
I don't know.
He's very woke. It was
Who's
Sean
woke?
Dyche's son, Max Dyche.
Oh,
came out of
Dyche.
Northampton.
Did see there was a Dyche. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't clock it until after the game. I don't know why I waited to the end of the pod to mention that, but it's been rattling around my head the whole time here. So there you go. I've left it there for you guys. Are we winning next Saturday, Ben?
Yeah, I think 2-0.
Tom?
4-0.
4-0. I think we'll win 3-0. I can't. Did any of us get the prediction right for this game? I think I said 2-1.
I said 7-1.
Oh, 7-1. Tom, what did you say?
God knows, mate. So much has happened since then. Yeah, I got it right. Why not?
Go for it. Well done. There we go.
Nah, there's no way I would have said we concede, actually. If I got all my predictions right this year, I think we wouldn't have conceded a goal all year.
Yeah.
Yours would be like Alan Hansen when he was doing the predictor on BBC and Liverpool went 4 seasons without losing.
Yeah, exactly that.
Well, look, you trust Nathan Trott that much, and I think it's fair enough. Let's draw the end of the pod there. We've got nothing else to talk about football-wise. Ben, unless there's anything you want to raise?
Absolutely nothing from me.
Tom, anything from you? Any other business? AOB?
I just hope Fee washed her hands after the toilet earlier on. But no, nothing from me.
She's the best player. She's never going to see this, but
how do you know? She might.
Because she refuses to watch it.
What about listen? Does she listen?
No, she can't stand listening to my voice. Her words were, "I have enough of it when it's not on when I'm not at work." I was like, fair enough.
That is completely fair enough. A fair play to her for saying it. We're all thinking it. Twitter.com/VFT Ninian, KOFI.com/VFT Ninian if you want to give us love, if you want to give us money. YouTube, like and subscribe, leave comments, do all that good stuff. We're up to 1.1 thousand subscribers now. We're cooking, really cooking at the moment. Anything else, Ben? Have I missed there? Do you want anything else we need to push?
No. We've got the award ceremony next week, so I don't know what the plan is for the pod for that. But yeah, it's all exciting at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, a week Monday, we'll find out if we do win the FSA Best Club Podcast Award. I'm optimistic. I think we've got a chance. We're in the shortlist. We've got a chance, haven't we, Tom?
There's a chance. And I haven't listened to any of the other podcasts, so God knows.
And we'll end it there because your microphone's gone weird, Tom. So that's probably a good time to call it. Thanks to everyone who's listened. We'll be back after the Mansfield game next week. Ta-da!